It's the 14th, Tuesday, July 2020. It's almost 2 p.m. Yesterday at this time, I was sitting waiting for a lady to come back from talking to a doctor who was not my doctor in a doctor's office about putting me through a barrage of tests that I had already been through about the things that are happening to me, like falling out and the blackouts where, like, those are what I'm concerned about, the blackouts where I black out but I'm still functioning as if I'm awake, like I'm in a blackout drunk, except for I haven't been drinking. That's what I'm concerned about. That's what we need to nip in the bud and get fixed. And they're just going to do the same tests. And my doctor wasn't even there. So I waited a long time for this lady to come back, who didn't seem to have a clue about my condition or what to do about it. And it was getting close to time for Lisa's lunch to be over, and she had asthma, so I just walked out. Well, how they've always handled it when I leave the doctor's office, because I do that a lot. I walked out of the emergency room when they took too long, 6 months ago, last year or some shit. And it's like, what do? They immediately call Lisa. And I don't say my wife anymore to anybody. I say my ex-wife, because I want them to understand, she's not my wife. But they still called her as if she is my wife and talked to her about stuff, that I have to do these tests again. And, stuff like that we have to check. And, okay, well, they're correct. I may be anemic, I may be bleeding out of my ass, and I may be losing too much blood now. Because, I went to bed really early last night, 9 o'clock? I was just whipped. I was tired. And, I had ate because John and Lisa bought me food. And I laid down and I slept until 1:30 in the morning when, I heard activity outside. And I got up and went out and had a cigarette, and it took me till about 2:30 probably to fall back asleep. But then I got back up at 7:15, 7:30 to grab Aslan from Lisa when she pulled up. Then we came back up here and went back to sleep. Slept till 10. So altogether, I had 12 hours sleep. And when I woke up, I was still exhausted. I mean, I had not slept a wink. And I could barely crawl out of bed. And I was sick. I couldn't eat. So I made myself a cup of coffee. And I took Aslan across the street to the trail and walked him up and down that trail so he could potty, get out. And I had forgot to take him water. So I was we couldn't go far. I had to bring him back. But I'm afraid to go far anyway because, I don't know if I'll fall out or if I'll go into a blackout. And I don't want to lose my dog just because I'm out walking him, So it's this health thing is really, it's negatively affecting a lot of stuff beyond, the chest pain and shit and the exhaustion, because it's affecting my confidence and my ability to function on my own, So it's and I can't contain any thoughts, so it's hard to make a point, I'm talking to you, and it's really hard to just focus down and say what I wanted to say. I should have took 2 minutes, and it's taken forever, It's I have to go get these tests, and I'm really sick. I finally ate a little while ago, and I don't know, man. It's my ministry is being manned better than I manned it by my ex-wife's fiance. So I guess I can die in peace. Maybe God's just gonna kill me. He might be going to. I'm gonna recover and he's gonna move me on from here into something else. I don't know. I don't know what's the next step. I'm just riding it out from day to day till, I get there, you see. And it's pretty treacherous that, in a moment like this when I need support and help, there are some entities that I don't want to know anything about me. So it's like I want to be gone from here as soon as possible, so that they don't know nothing about me no more. You know what I'm saying? And because, well, the gossip fence is always afire with negative stuff, never anything positive. Nobody talks about the positive stuff you've done for years. But if they perceive you crossed the line somewhere, they're so happy about that, that you fell. That you fell from grace, that you acted out beneath your character grade, you see? I got something on my chin. It looks like it though, don't it? There's nothing there. Alright, so, yeah, I am literally in this state where it's like inside my head it feels like it's shaking around. I noticed yesterday when I put my finger out for her to take my temperature, and my finger was doing one of these numbers. And before I went in there, I was sitting at the gazebo across from the hospital, because, well, the cardiologist is right across from the hospital. And I was talking to an old guy that works in the hospital who was out there having a cigarette break at the gazebo. And we were just joking about it, how I could go in there and get diagnosed for a profit and dragged across the street and hooked up to a machine for even more profit. And then left to die on that machine for even more profit. I mean, we were just joking about this shit, and here it could have happened when I walked into the cardiologist, right? Because, well, they did take my temperature, you see. And it's like, don't get diagnosed with that. Oh, man. And I laughed, but it was like I was scared, And I'm sitting there, and the lady never came back. So I'm like, wow, I wonder if my temperature was high. I wonder what they're doing, And I got afraid for my, my well-being. I do have like white coat syndrome. I'm afraid of hospitals and doctors ever since I got killed on an operating table in January of 1999. January 19th to be exact. And that's why you can't forget that date, you see. But it's like, I'm scared now. And then I got even more reason to be afraid because, well, you could get picked up and be a murder victim for some profit, So it's like, wow, this is weird how the place where they're supposed to preserve life, you know what I'm saying? The opposite is happening. And, there's no treatment available for what you have anymore. They're going to just chalk it up as that and treat you for that, you see. So it's like, hey, I'm a guy who's bleeding from my ass, who's more afraid of the healthcare system than he is of the blood gushing out of his ass. What does that tell you? Okay? And I went and submitted to it. I faced my fears, And I'm going to have to submit some more. And every time I walk into one of these facilities for one of these tests, it's like I'm stepping on a tightrope, but I'm not no trapeze artist, So, I could fall, and I know that just from trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with me. And I have to because, well, I can't run around in a blackout. You know what I'm saying? When do I go into a blackout and I don't come out of it? And nobody even realizes it because I'm functioning. But I'm not even there. I don't even know what's happening. Do you see? That's why I have to succumb to this against my better judgment and, against all my fears, founded fears I've found out. And, it's like I'm in this position where I have no choice. So, I'm winded just from talking. That tells you something. My chest is doing some weird flippity floppy shit. I don't know what's up. But it's like I'm experiencing a lot of discomfort at the moment, you know? And got my little dog with me. At least I have company. And I had sweets and shit over there, so maybe I'll have something sweet. I made me a cup of coffee. Got that over there. Then I have a Coke over there, still open. Yeah, life is good for me right now. It's perfect time for me to die. Because, well, when you're all down and you're struggling, you don't want to let them kill you like that, you know? You want to get up before they can kill you. So, I don't know, that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, hey, well, I got a kid. Go ahead and take me out, yo. Perfect time. Yeah. I didn't die from, lack. You see, it was just my time. I had a heart attack in August. I was supposed to die then. Actually, I had that heart attack for 6 weeks. I walked around holding my chest with one hand, doing everything with the other. Screaming in pain. Drinking gallons of vodka to fight the pain. So, yeah, I'm not living like that now, but I'm still enduring some pain. The pain came back. And, my blood pressure's doing weird shit where it's like, you can't trust the pills. You take them for a few days and then my blood pressure's down scary low, like 90 over 50. Don't take them for a while, and I'm up around 217 over 105 like yesterday, day before yesterday. So, yeah, it's like there's no controlling it now. It's just, it just bounces around. It's all over the place like a roller coaster, man. And that's another scary thing, because, well, that affects my functionality. I have one thing I care about, my little dog. If I go out with him, I want him to make it back safely. And from me to his home, which his home is with my ex-wife. That's his home and that's his family, and I shouldn't deprive him of that in any capacity, you see. My ministry is being manned very well. So there's no reason for me to hold on to what God has relegated as my past. You see, it hurts, I'm going to tell you. Imagine being ripped from everything you love, everything you care about. Imagine you interacted with these entities every day. You petted them, you served them, you loved them. You laid with them in bed. When you were sick, they would come lay with you. And now you don't have them anymore. Imagine the pain. That's what I go through every second of every day. But I have to push it back because I can't function on the pain. I have to function on the joy of the Lord. And one day this will all be undone. And there won't be any need for me to be engaged in a ministry like that anyway, because those kiddies will not need help in the next timeline. Isn't that beautiful? That's wonderful that my ministry is not even needed beyond this timeline. And this timeline is approaching a crash point. That's why everything's happening the way it is. And some of us want to rebel against it in all the wrong ways. And we actually should, try to abide by the laws of man as much as possible. Not be scoff laws. But at the same time, there's time and place for protest and for getting across how you feel about stuff. It may not be at your workplace, though. And it may not be out in public where somebody could be crazier than you and decide they're going to do something to you for daring to speak up. You see? So we have to choose our battle platforms wisely in this modern technological age. Okay? We can't endanger ourselves, our physical persons. We're outnumbered and outgunned in that respect. But we fight not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay? And it's controlling those in power and with fame and with influence. Okay? It's controlling them. We don't have to let it control us.